I waited for you to bring the rose, but you didn't come. I waited for you behind the plate glass bars of a human laboratory, thin in seaman's jersey, hospital shoes stained green by the green desert surrounding. I waited for your cargo of flowers to come and resurrect the sun, looked for you in the thunder of distant waves, spraying into the darkening sky from far off Karatane. But the gulls blew my vision, and the vision blew my mind. I waited for you while dumbstruck visitors pressed into my sunburnt hands biscuit tins, heavy with homemade cakes, while I walked over stoned grass on dark blue Sunday afternoons to watch them drive carefully away. I waited for you to bring the rose, but you didn't come. They tell me your wings had trouble with air pockets, made you drop the rose in mid-ocean. I waited for you to bust the house, but when the doors of the shock chamber opened to me, I knew in a flash you hadn't made it. Dear lady, I looked into the sky till the blood banged in my veins, imagining your wings on every horizon, imagining rose-red lips in every cloud, but you didn't come. We are disappointed. The day has not turned out the way it was written, nor have your heralds made an appearance. The rose was eaten by sharks, I'm told, too lazy to plant their own, and now the house is useless without them, and now the sun is like a ball of nails sinking below the whitehead ocean. We waited for you to bring the rose, paranoid in our silent, unforgivable beds, running from our wrists, running through the crowded waxen hallways, stabbed with broken needles. We looked for you. Each morning we lined up to watch the mandrake get ripped from her bed by a man named chlorpromazine. I waited for you to bring the wings, but the feathers dropped out of my waiting. They tell me your rose had trouble flying. They tell me some people tried to prevent you from coming, made you tumble into confusion, dragging your blue belly out of our sky. I waited for you in the recreation hall while the snow fell outside, while the Mongol played beautifully the same tune for 2 hours, but we were forbidden to meet. I sat in my steam-heated upstairs room and watched you clawing the cold white grass for sign of life. The sparkling moon shone on your back as two shadows seized your arms. Your folks told me, much later, you died trying to find the right color. Said the police were disturbed to discover your plump white body in a side street pricked with strange holes. Said you must have fallen from a motorcycle, had your clothes ripped off at the same time. I read in the newspapers how your former probation officer was disappointed. He wasn't able to find you earlier before the welfare moved in. Said he would have liked one last shot at communicating with the gang before they took you away. Said he hadn't realized you liked roses. Dear lady, I waited for you while the eternal Straw Hat Brigade marched obediently past my cracked incubator down to their sad turnip patch, while the young tattooed girls were hustled away from the young tattooed boys who cried while the doctors drove home on dark Sunday afternoons in their heavy black cars and were locked up without their toys, while the human laboratory huddled behind the plate glass bars eating their shepherd's pie, while the Mongol played his windy accordion to an empty desert, singing his lament to the foaming schizophrenic Karatani, while the sun went down like a rusty ball of nails, while they carried your bloodshot body down to the seaside grave under close security. I waited while they carved your obituary in my brain, while the cold white moon sparkled on the melting snow. But you didn't come.